Two-man coverage underneath, two deep safeties, cross the middle field. Then they do a nice job of getting to the line of scrimmage, forcing that flag with 12 men on the field, and finding a touchdown to see if they can win this game.
They had the chance. They had the timeouts. They had everything on their side, and they got the Vikings to a third down. So this was your ball game on 3rd and 2.
Roll pass. The backers are walked up near the center. No one covers that back out of the backfield, and an easy conversion for Minnesota.
A great catch by Akers, actually. Darnold, 33 completions, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns. And look at this moment in the post-game locker room. One of the great images of this NFL season. Sam Darnold, a man the league had given up on, all of a sudden being celebrated like that. And the Vikings will play next Sunday night in Detroit for the 1 seed in the NFC, in what can only be described as one of the great and unpredictable stories of this NFL season. They were picked to finish last in that division, particularly after the rookie quarterback goes down. In comes Darnold, has a monster year. And so I will ask Adam Schefter the question everyone is asking: why does Sam Darnold not yet have a contract to continue in Minnesota? Are the Vikings ready to commit to Darnold being their quarterback beyond wherever their playoff run this year ends?
Not today, Greeny, but eventually you would think that they would be. It is hard to watch that video and not think, how can they let this guy walk out the door and go be a free? You can't see him walk in and get the reaction he gets and imagine that they're going to let somebody like that, as well-liked, as well-respected, as productive as he's been, walk out the door. When you used the draft pick on J.J. McCarthy, you were trying to secure your quarterback future. That's what you were trying to do. It looks like, with the way Sam Darnold has played this year, they've secured their quarterback future. And they have the benefit of having another great rookie quarterback in what has turned out to be a scintillating rookie quarterback class. We saw what Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix did last night. We saw what Bo Nix did over the weekend. We've watched Caleb Williams. We've watched these rookie quarterbacks shine. There's no reason to think that J.J. McCarthy would be any different. That was the track he was on during the summer. But Sam Darnold happened this year, and now he's scheduled to be a free agent. And they haven't talked, but the price is rising every single day. And what would some team be willing to give up to get Sam Darnold? And the Vikings obviously want to wait and see how the season plays out, but we see how it's playing out. They're playing Sunday night for the number 1 seed against the Detroit Lions. Winner wins the NFC North. Winner gets the number 1 seed. Winner gets a bye. There's a lot on the line. And Sam Darnold has played at an elite level this year. And so it's left the Vikings in a situation where I don't know if you say, how are they going to handle it? Because I think we know how they're going to handle it. They have to keep Sam Darnold. But then what do they do about the rest of the quarterback situation?
Have we mentioned he's 27 years old? Darnold feels like he's been around forever, so people probably perceive him to be a lot older than that. He has as long a runway as practically anybody. Rex, any question in your mind, if that's your football team, you're keeping Darnold?
Absolutely. And I've said it for the last 6-7 weeks that, what are you doing? Do you not believe in him? Because my eyes tell me this kid's playing great. And to me, look, you're 14-2. Really? What did you want to accomplish when you went to draft a guy? Doesn't matter. Once you want to get a franchise quarterback, right? Because when you have one, it's hard not to win with a franchise quarterback. And guess what? It's hard to win when you don't have one. Well, you have one right in front of you. All right? It doesn't matter how you got him, but you got him. And you know what? Everybody needs a backup. You got a kid that, you drafted in the first round. So what? He's your backup. Fine and dandy, but you better sign this guy. And when that locker room is telling you, what the hell are we doing? Let's sign him. That's why those images are so powerful to me.
It's one of the most desirable places in the NFL to be a quarterback. And I think now the Minnesota Vikings have to try and re-sign Sam Darnold. I did not feel that way a month ago. Watching that post-game interaction is rare in the NFL. It's rare to have that correct.
And an elite contract. And so I could see that, Minnesota, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. for you. All right, don't you dare let this guy hit the street.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, they can franchise him, and still that to me, I mean, I could see that scenario, and I think it's a mistake. Sign the guy up. He's
back who's in that first deal is that you can use those savings to build the rest of your roster. Well, we've seen now two teams this past spring go get rookie quarterbacks that may not have those savings. The Atlanta Falcons used $90 million on Kirk Cousins, a lot of money that they could have used on other players. The Minnesota Vikings drafted J.J. McCarthy with the idea that he was going to be the quarterback, and now it looks like they're going to have to use some of the money that they're going to save to go re-sign Sam Darnold and keep him in Minnesota. So it's strange how this works sometimes, that one of the greatest advantages to having a rookie quarterback is the benefits he brings you on that contract. And now we might have two teams that have compromise situations, but situations that aren't terrible. Like the Falcons, they know they wasted the money on Kirk Cousins, but they secured the position. The Vikings used their first-round draft pick on J.J. McCarthy, but if and when they sign Sam Darnold, they're going to secure the position. And it's the most important position in sports. It has to be secured at all costs. And even if it means that you squandered some of the benefits, you've still taken care of that spot.
I'm with that. Okay, well, I want to talk about Minnesota more a little bit later, but let me get some Green Bay. Cindy, can we put up 823? Because, Rex, you picked the Packers yesterday on our Sunday NFL Countdown show, and a lot of people have. The Packers, they're a very good team. But look at these losses. I mean, they've got the best quality losses of any team in the NFL. But the facts are the facts. They're 0-5 against the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings this year. 4 of those have been within 5 points. 3 of the 5 within a field goal. Flip those results, the Packers would be the 1 seed, but you don't get to do that in life. So my question is, the Packers, who figure now to go in as the 7 seed in the NFC playoffs, which would put them in Philadelphia a week from Saturday or Sunday, or I guess Monday. What do we think of that?
Well, I wouldn't love it if I was Philly, if that is going to be the matchup, because I think Green Bay can
looks
run
likely.
Yeah,
it looks likely.
I don't love that if I'm not Philly. I still think Philly wins the game. I think the takeaway for Green Bay is you need Jordan Love to not be as much of the roller coaster. You do want more consistency out of Jordan Love. Now, they didn't get into a lot of their 4x1 stuff, and they didn't throw the ball downfield. They really struggled on third down versus a certain coverage. Rex, you know this. They got man coverage underneath. They got 2 safeties deep. And Jordan didn't throw it, 1, as cleanly, but 2, he also didn't take off with his legs ever. And if teams are going to play him that way, if Philadelphia might play him that way, he's going to have to become more of a running threat in those situations. I'm not overreacting. I just think they want him to play cleaner football more consistently.
Yeah, I think it's a horrible matchup for him, and he's going to have 2 losses against the Lions, 2 losses against the Vikings, and get ready to have 2 losses against the Eagles. Look, this guy has elite talent. Jordan Love has elite. So to me, he starts this game, and we've seen him struggle.
A couple misses early.
He looked shook to me. And you can't have that. If you're an elite player, you can't have that. You practiced all week. Get out there with confidence and fire, especially in those first 15. You ought to be, like Superman. It takes him a while to get started. Then he becomes Superman.
Yeah.
But he needs to start that way for this team to have any chance moving forward.
It was interesting to watch how Minnesota handled their offense. Like, Minnesota very clearly defensively wanted to go after them on early downs to try and eat up a body in the run game. Green Bay's got a very good run game, and so they did that. And then it was often daring them to throw the football downfield, and they just didn't. They didn't take their shots downfield. I'm not overreacting to this. I really don't think if you really watch that game, and so the 4th and 2 that they go for it, Jordan misses it. Jordan has to make that throw because Jaden Reed's coming across the middle of the field and he's going to be open. So you sit there and go, Jordan, his feet were okay, make that throw. And then really right before the half is when that crucial penalty, both by the offense and then by special teams, has massive impact on the game. They have it 3rd and 2. They go for it with about 1:30 left. They get it. Offensive penalty takes that conversion off the board. They don't get it on 3rd down. They punt the ball away. Minnesota goes down the field. They attempt a long field goal. They miss it. Penalty. They get a re-kick. and obviously make that one. That's really one of the differences in the game.
All right, much more on that game as we go, much more on that division as we go. But we mentioned the Eagles are the 2 seed. They locked that up yesterday, had a dominant performance against their arch rival Cowboys. But there were some interesting things in this game. In the third quarter, Eagles up 24-7. Kenny Pickett playing in place of the injured Jalen Hurts. You're going to see a penalty here, so pay no attention to the end of the play. Just watch the hit that Pickett takes. Dan, that would end his day.
Yeah, obviously banged up last week, and then the reports after the game that he's playing with a broken rib, took a shot pre-game, and then halftime. Tough dude, hangs in there, finds a way to operate for their football team.
And in comes Tanner McKee. And with the Eagles up 27-7, Tanner McKee throws his first career touchdown to A.J. Brown. This was a fun sequence here. A.J. Brown forgets that it's his first touchdown, so he throws the ball into the stands.
No.
Tanner McKee is thinking, wait a minute, that's my ball. So A.J. Brown is looking up in the stands saying, I'll give you a signed jersey if you get the ball back down here. Big Dom gets the ball back. The fan says, I got you, we're all good here, and we'll show you the result of that in a minute. After we show you Saquon Barkley. Rex Ryan, what you were about to see is history. Saquon Barkley becoming the 9th back ever to rush for 2,000 yards in a season.
Man, I mean, the guy is so special. I mean, so electric, and he's been like this, so consistent the entire season. The MVP of this team, certainly.
He ran for 167 yards on the day. He is very much knocking on Eric Dickerson's door. We'll talk about that in a minute. Meanwhile, later in the drive, it's McKee, it's Devontae Smith. Eagles win it 41-7. They clinch the division. And to put a ribbon on the other storyline, the fan would indeed get the signed A.J. Brown jersey. So all is well. That ends well. But the storyline for me, Eagles win it. They're the 2 seed. All well and good. Here's the story. Barkley outran the pace that he needed entering the game. He is 101 yards away from passing Eric Dickerson. Barkley is going to need an extra game to do it. We know that, but he also would likely do it in fewer carries than Dickerson. Let's not parse that. After the game, Barkley asked if he wants to go for the record.
I mean, it's up to Nick, to be honest. And, whatever his decision is, I'm all for it. If his mindset is, we'll go out there and try it, and I'll go out there and try it. But his mindset is, let's rest and get ready for, this run, then I'm all for that too. And, I'm not just saying that because a camera's in my face or a mic's in my face. I really mean that. I came here to do something special, and obviously breaking a record special, but I want to be part of, I want a banner up there, and I think we all do.
All right, so, first and foremost, as you were both saying, he says everything you dream that a football player would say.
Awesome.
Let's not relitigate or any of that. Coach, I'm begging you. You're my coach. I am begging you. I'm an offensive lineman on this team. I'm a running back on this team. Well, I'm the running back on this team. This is a 40-year-old record. It is the most famous record in the sport. I ask you, for those who might disagree, who has the passing single-season record? What is it? Everyone knows Eric Dickerson in 2105. It survived the entire careers of Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith and Adrian Peterson and Derrick Henry. And Saquon has a chance to break this record next week. Coach, I'm begging you. Let me play and go for the record. What do you say?
Nah, son, we got bigger things to do. And to me, this team is so set up to make a deep run and to go chase that Super Bowl ring. I'm responsible for the entire for the playoffs. There's no reason why we can't win the whole darn thing. What would happen if this guy gets banged up? Like, you can't do that. I need our team to be popping out of our skin when we get in to make a playoff run. The record would be great. I would love to have that record. But you know what? I'd much rather have a Super Bowl.
Okay, I'm coming to my quarterback now.
We're going.
So I just went from my coach. My coach said no. But now my quarterback has a lot of say. Everyone knows the quarterback.
Yes.
So now I got, Coach, a quarterback, I need you to go talk to Coach. I need you to talk to him into letting us do it.
You got a half.
Half a game.
Get it done.
101 yards.
Get it done in the first half. We're going to go for the record. Because here's the thing, too. This isn't just going to be Saquon's record. This is going to be this offensive line's record. This is going to be Lane Johnson, who's one of the great right tackles in the history of the NFL. It's his record. Shoot, this is going to be Jeff Stoutland's record as well, who's one of the greatest offensive line coaches in the history of the NFL. Saquon, fellas, you got a half. We're playing against the Giants. Jonathan Taylor ran all over them yesterday as well. You get a half to go get this record. This is something that is NFL history. If this was 170 yards away, we're having a different conversation. He can get 103 carries on this coming Sunday. This is if I'm the Eagles, I want that record in my organization as well. We are an offensive line rich organization. If I'm Howie Roseman, their general manager, who went and broke the mold of his history and signed, I want it as under my name as well. So I fully expect him to go chase it down. And also, let me be clear. It's not like you can only have one or the other.
Right.
You could go get the record and still be healthy enough to go on your playoff run.
By the way, they're playing the Giants to whatever degree that the deliciousness of it. Go ahead, Shefty.
You guys are wrong, by the way.
Yeah, Shefty.
Dan, did you say you fully expect him to go for the record? Is that what you said, Dan?
I do.
I fully expect them not to go for the record.
Amen.
Fully expect them not. You could just hear the way they were answering the questions yesterday. They were playing it down. And did you notice as soon as he got over 2,000 yards, as soon as that last run got him to 2003 and he became the 9th running back in NFL history to get that mark, they took him right out of the game. They didn't leave him in to do more damage into the Eric Dickerson mark. They didn't do that. They don't have a bye the first week. They're not trying to get they're trying to get a Super Bowl. I would be floored if Saquon Barkley is on the field this weekend. Floored. He's not going to be out there.
Absolutely.
So close. You're 100 yards away. I get your
Who
point.
cares?
And if you're going, I would imagine some players care. I would imagine some guys are that close to that record.
You heard
and if you play Saquon, you got to play the offensive line. I get that. But you're so close.
Shefty, final word. Go.
Listen, they essentially told you their answers yesterday. Saquon did it. Nick Sirianni did it. Their actions on the field did it. We could continue talking about and debating whether or not they should play him. They're just not going to play him next week, but let's keep having fun talking about whether Saquon should play.
I'm going to keep lobbying. I'm lobbying Rex, and I'm lobbying Danny. I'm going to work on Shefty during the break, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I need a lot of work here, Greeny. I need a lot of work.
We're just getting started on this Monday morning. Coming up, the Giants won the game, and in the process, they lost so much more. What a New York nightmare. But at least they weren't the little Giants yesterday, Rex. We'll show you all the things that happened, plus who's the real MVP. Could it be the guy no one saw coming and who is actually having the best season of anybody? We're talking about that next. It's a Monday on Get Up on ESPN.